Holy cow. Right off the bat. There we go. There we go. There we go, guys. Number 3. Holy cow. Look at that. Right there. Check out that fatty. Check it out, guys. Scat. Super fresh. Looks like from a coyote. Maybe a bobcat. We got a trail that's well worn through there and through here. And we got tracks all through here. Hog tracks, coyote. Heading down to this pond here, see what we can catch. Okay, guys, take a look at this. On both sides, it's these feral hogs that have come up here rooting around. And I've heard them before back in there. Dang. But man, they sure do tear it up. And they like to lay in here. The water's up pretty good here. Tracks all over. Man, oh man. Welcome back, fishing friends, to another adventure. All right, guys, I'm at one of my favorite ponds in North Texas, and it's December. Temperatures in the high 40s. Hopefully we're gonna get something. Hey, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. My name's Alan, and I make a bunch of fishing videos and some other stuff, and nothing scientific. Everything's pretty much casual. I'm no expert in anything. And I'm just out here enjoying the holiday break. Hope you guys are enjoying your stretch here of Christmas. I just made my trip back from Spain, and so I'm excited to get out here and do some fishing. Right now I'm throwing a Nikko Craw. I know it's not ideal for winter conditions, but down here in Texas, you can still use them. Just slowly bouncing along the bottom. And it'll get a lethargic bite as good as anything. So I'm using a 6-foot ugly stick, 20-pound braid, 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. I also got my 2 ultralights with me. Man, that looks good in the water. I did start over on that side, and the wind is just coming straight out of the north, so I was eating it. So I hiked all the way around by the secondary pond and then came over here. Now there's bass in here, gar, big catfish, crappie, panfish. There's a turtle over there. I'm kind of near Lake Texoma. I was checking the Lake Texoma fishing report. Everything is real active from about 20 feet down to 40 feet. But here in this little pond, it's going to be a different story. I already fished this little inlet here. Didn't have any luck. But I have caught some nice fish here in the past. I've used the Nikko Helgermite quite a bit. Not so much the Craw, but man, it is looking good. I've got it on a weedless, kind of a Ned rig type setup. And I leave the bail open so she just drops straight down, so I don't get that pendulum effect. And then I let it sit there for a little bit, and then just give it a couple of twitches in case something had second thoughts about it. Then I'll just bounce it along the bottom. Then you don't have to rip it through, especially in these colder temperatures. It's going to be a windy day today. Oh, check out that wake. That might have been the turtle. So we'll throw this for a little while, and then we may switch it up to some night crawlers and see what else we got. Oh, I felt the thump. Definitely 2 thumps right there, guys. Dang it, didn't take it. I wonder what happened. I mean, it was thump, 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 thump. Dang. No cabbage on it. Minus the wind, it's a gorgeous day out here. So as you can see in the other video, I got a bunch of new baits in. I've got a whole bunch more coming in on orders. I got so many gift cards right before the Christmas break from school. Tons of gift cards, Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops, all kinds of stuff. So I've been cashing those in. And you get all excited, but you forget that it's a Christmas rush. And so a lot of these things that are getting shipped or get delayed. See, I feel a pop right there, but then there's nothing. Maybe it's these bluegill. I'm still throwing the Craw, guys. This Nikko Craw. More testing needs to be done. Now the Helgermite, I got a video in there where I just played a smallmouth. It was in a pool off to my right, and I know they hang out in there, and I was real careful to get up there alongside it on this flat rock, and I just pitched it right in there and jigged it, and that Helgermite just got hammered. Finally caught something out of that little pool there. A bunch of these rapids coming down, and it was good stuff. I was reading where smallmouth are really starting to take off in Lake Texoma now. I know they're up in Tishomingo. In Lake Murray. Somebody was saying that although those zebra mussels are a real pain in the butt, and they're trying to keep them out of waterways and all this and that, but how they filtered the water in some of these lakes up north, that these smallmouth bass numbers have just exploded, that it's helped them and their populations. And I don't know, I mean, those are just people talking and anglers talking, and you know, locals that have fished their ponds for 30 plus years. But there may be something to it. I'm not promoting the spread of zebra mussels in any form or fashion. I'm just saying that could be what's happening. I was reading the other day that they've identified just a pure strand of a Texas bass. I know the Guadalupe bass, which is kind of a small bass. I've caught some of them. It's a state fish of Texas, down around the Austin area. Blancos where I've had luck catching them. But now they're saying there's its own strand of Texas largemouth. I'll have to read up on that a bit more. Well, I think we're going to switch to the jig and wrap, guys, and fire that out there. There's some crappie in here. I've got the smallest. What do I got? A fish? Check it out, guys, right there. Right in the shallows. Ooh, nice. Just when I was talking about doing a switch. Oh, come on. There we go. Look at that. Perfect hook set right in the top of the mouth. He was in the shallows. Check that out. All right, let's get him back in there. Ooh, boy, that was a slap. He came in the shallows and hammered that. Just as I was about to say, we're gonna switch. I knew I felt some thumps in there. Might be some smaller bass. But boom, right out here off of this little channel here. All right, so we're on the board with one. All right, guys, there we go. Just your basic Nikko Craw. It's got this little weed guard on there. So they're around the crawfish this time. He's just, they're usually down in the muck and in the soil, but they can be around still. Man, I hope you guys are having a good time catching fish this winter. Oh, there was a pop. I've been trying to stay current on a lot of my favorite fishing channels, see what's going on, who's catching what. I've been impressed with old Sassafras from Sassafras Outdoors. Boy, he was out there in the, had to have been in the teens or maybe 20s, and he was catching some walleye. I sent him an email, or gave him my email and said, hey man, let me know some of the techniques, some of that winter fishing. I need to ask him a whole bunch of questions about that, because I only head up north in the summer. I'm never up there in the winter time. I've been ice fishing once when I was a kid, when we were up there over Christmas break, and we're catching big bluegill on a relative's pond. But looked like Sass was on maybe a river, definitely some open water there. So he did a good job catching some fish. So I got to pick his brain about how that all goes, trying to catch walleye in those temperatures. Dang it, guys, I felt the thump right there. The other thing is, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do for spring break. Am I gonna go down and try to catch some more Guadalupe bass? Am I gonna head to the Texas coast? Down around Corpus. Catch some fish down there. Oh, there's a wake right there. Right there. All right, guys. Let's see what we got here. Everybody follows that North Dakota yak angler. I've been watching his stuff. See what he's been doing. What am I getting hung up on that? tumbleweed there. I also watch a lot of Angler X. He's out of Wisconsin, La Crosse area. He has some great instructional stuff. He does a lot of ice fishing too. Dang, look at the thorns on that thing. Let me see if I can get it. Well, I'm in the shadows here. This thing's just full of thorns. I was wondering what was tugging on my rear end there. Alright guys, so I'm just bombing it out to the middle, letting it sink, and then just dragging her through. Alright guys, one more cast with this Nikko Craw. I worked this whole section in here, nothing. Had a snag, but I got rid of it, or got it out. I gotta give a shout out to my two best buddies over in Spain that I went and hung out with. Hadn't seen them since like the late 80s. It's Fernandito and Elias. Fernandito is a financial planner, and Elias is a big-time chef at a restaurant called Los Abedes Triana, I think is what it is. And got to hang out with them quite a bit. The thing is, there were so many places where I could have fished, but I don't know anything about. I tried to do research on there, what it would take to get a fishing license for an out-of-country person, and it was just too much of a hassle to figure it all out. I was going to bring like a little pocket rod, do a little bit of fishing, but we were just so crunched for time. Got to hang out with my buddy Jaime and his family. So it was a lot of fun. A lot of people we got to see. Plus it was a perfect time to be there. It wasn't all hot. Temperature was similar to how it can be in Texas. You know, they are in the northern hemisphere. And so the mountains, you'll get snow there, but we were in the 50s most of the time. A couple days in the 60s. All right. I know I said one more cast, and I've now done 2 casts. Just working the bottom down there. All right, one more. One more. Thing is, I know there's catfish in here. I've caught them, small ones, but I got a decent sized one. So I know they see the craw down there. They've got to. Maybe I need to attract a little more attention with it. Be a little bit more aggressive. We're about to switch to the jig and wrap and then some night crawlers. Maybe throw one of those Reaction Innovations or a bass assassin. See, look at my line tip. I mean, the tip of my pole. I was getting some thumps down there. Alright guys, we're going to switch it up. Let me set this here, this handy dandy log here. You can kind of see the cabbage I'm in. I wouldn't be surprised if a bobcat is hanging out up in a tree. Check out that guy. Wouldn't be surprised if a bobcat went hanging out in a tree spying on me. Of course, I get this all tangled up. There we go. All right, this is just a little 1-inch size, the small one. And I've had some pretty good luck throwing these. I gotta watch out for cabbage in here, but I got enough of them, so if I lose one during experimenting, it's okay. But those things just shoot around. All you need to do is just tighten the line up, give it a little pop, and let it do its thing. Thing is, I gotta bring it in when it starts getting close, because there's some cabbage down there. So here we go. It's a new little Lou Spin, Speed Spin 100 that I got. It was on display. They didn't have any other ones, so he did a 30% markdown on it. I had somebody ask, why do I fish left-handed? Because when I was younger, I was ambidextrous. In a baseball, I could hit from both sides of the plate, and so with fishing, it just stuck that way. Ooh, come on. Oh, this is a snag. Dang it all. Oh, man, it hit. Oh, anyway, we're going to lose this one, but that's how come sometimes I'll switch to the right hand and crank over here, but it's just, I've done it for so long that way. All right, guys, I got to try to get this out. Boy, she's squeaking. We may lose this. It's this dang cabbage, I guarantee it. Just a twig. All right, we gotta be more careful. There we go. Sorry, I was looking back and I'm down low. I don't want to have that catch on these weeds right here or above me. All right, so just pop, pop. Let it do its thing. Boy, in Lake Murray, I had a lot of hits on these. I need to get back up there. It's in Oklahoma. I had that good spot where there's just a huge cliff face, and I'm casting down in there. Oh, there we go. That huge cliff face, see, once it hits the water, you can just, sorry guys, let me adjust this. Huge cliff face, so you can just jig it like crazy and let it do its thing. All right, guys, got a night crawler on the bottom here. Let's see what we got. On the new Sharky. The new Sharky on the new Lose. Oh, check it out. It's a decent little catfish. All right. Let's get him unhooked. Looks like I may have to do a little surgery there. Oh. Ooh. All right, guys. There we go. Decent little catfish. Looks like almost like a bullhead that you have up north, that you find up there. Feeling a little tug down there, guys. Well, this Lew's Speed Spin 100 has been working out perfect. Let's see what we got here. Oh, it's another catfish. Check him out. Oh, he may have swallowed that thing. All right, guys, there he goes. Number 2. All right, guys, here's the Little Dipper Reaction Innovations. I guess the sun's in the way. Got on a 1/4 ounce Moon Eye. We're gonna fire it out there. I need to bend that down just a little bit. We're going to see what we get. There we go. Never tested this bait before. Probably the wrong time of year to do it, but we're going to give it a shot. Oh. Sorry guys, I had to adjust the hat there. That thing cast at a country mile. Alright, so this one I'm just going to do the slowest retrieve as possible. As lethargic as things are. Maybe jig it just a little. I want it to kind of hang near the bottom, but not on the bottom. Probably a little too much weight for it, but oh my gosh. Guys, that looks phenomenal in the water. Whew. I guess you guys are staring right into the sun, huh? Yeah. It's getting close to noon. It's been such a gorgeous day. It was a good thing I moved to this side where I wasn't eating wind all day. But we got to deal with the sun. This rig right here is a 6-foot ugly stick, 20-pound braid, 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. I use the 20 because it'll get it out of cabbage if you get a fish in there. Plus sometimes I'm a little lazy and I like to set up for pike. And you know, this is a Lew's Speed Spin 300. Anything by Lew's, guys. And if you have any trouble with them, which you shouldn't, you just send it into them and they'll rebuild the whole thing for you. It's an amazing company out of Springfield, Missouri. I've been so tempted to get a 6'6" bass rig with the Lew's Speed Spin on there for smallmouth, and then use these heavy duty ugly sticks for the pike. But I'm happy with just 4 rods. I've got buddies that have got 10, 15, 20 rods and I'm like, nope, it's not going to work for me. Ooh, it's the cabbage that's down there. I thought for a minute there was a strike. Dang. Dang, that looks good. Yeah, I hadn't seen any gar around. Even in the summer when it was super hot, I only saw one. And I know they're in here. This is where I had that one hooked on 4-pound line. I was delicately trying to get up on shore over there. It's when the water was way down. And I couldn't get him in. I tried to dive at him because he came off like in about 2 inches of water. The thing is this, I love the action and the fighting of a gar, but I don't want to catch them. I know that sounds dumb. They're just a pain to deal with. I guess you could almost say they're the south version of a northern pike. And they love to fight. Actually, the best fighting fish are carp. Carp are just amazing with a fight. And drum, freshwater drum. There's a spot I'm thinking about going to where I can catch some freshwater drum and some catfish. It's kind of over in an area that has been hit hard with low water levels, but I'm anxious to see with all this rain and moisture we've had if the water's come up some. I may do that around Christmas. All right, guys, I'm going to switch to the Bass Assassin Elite Shiner. Hammer time. Didn't get anything on the Reaction Innovations, so we're going to give this guy a go. A little bit different color. We'll see what happens here. Same thing with this. Just kind of bring it at a consistent pace, and then sometimes I'll let it fall to the bottom and then just bang it along the bottom like it's wounded. Then start reeling again. Oh yeah, that looks phenomenal in the water. What is up with this? It's got kind of a keeps wanting to wanting to kink up on there. Weird. This thing looks too juicy not to have something hit it. Golly, that thing is just phenomenal. Well, guys, I was a little disappointed. Nothing on the Elite Shiner either. I switched to the Craw, and holy cow, I got a nice hit right here, in close. I take my time with this guy. Oh, easy, fella, easy. This is a monster freaking crappie. Now, why in the heck haven't I caught one of these in here in a long time? I gotta get a measurement on this guy. What do you guys think? 10 inches? Ooh. I don't want him to be sitting in this wind for too long. All right. Let's see here. I gotta lay him down. It's gonna have to be on the log. Easy, buddy, easy. Don't start twitching. What the? I don't need millimeters, centimeters for crying out loud. Come on, hang in there, buddy. All right. 13, 12. I gotta get 0. 0's just at the tip. Hang on, guys. I know I'm messing this up. This thing is kind of a... Oh yeah, he is 13. 13. Oh, on the craw. In shallow water. Dang, that's a nice crappie. Let's get one with the light on him. 13. It's a white crappie. All right. There you go, buddy. Good Lord. On the little craw. Nothing on the night crawlers. Man. Let me show you. Come on, get out of this. Of course, look at this all snared up in there. There we go. One more time. There we go. All right, just this little craw. Trout Magnet Craw. And he was in shallow, just bam. So what is that, 3 species today? The bass, a couple catfish, and then the crappie. I was saying I was kind of disappointed how nothing was hitting on the Reaction Innovations or the Bass Assassin. You'd figure a crappie that dang big would have hit on that Bass Assassin. 13-inch crappie. I'll have to go back and check. That may be my PB for here in Texas. Something's on it. Something's on it. See, at first I thought I had a catfish. It's a nice large mouth right here. Get him up through the cabbage. Ooh. Oh yeah. Right in the top of the mouth. Boy, they're liking this little entrance here. Check out that fatty. There he goes. All right. That's 2 on the craw. Holy cow. Oh, what was it? He spit it. I had a good hook set. He just spit it. Boy, did you hear that scream off of there? I was saying nothing was hitting on the reaction innovations nor the bass assassin. I get a bass hammer, the craw, and then I just had a nice hit there. No clue what the heck that was. That might have been a gars as much as that thing was screaming. I may have to throw a Berkeley twitch tail down in there. Could have been a catfish too that hammered that. There was a hell of a lot of weight on it. He just spit it. Right in here close, guys. That's a nice crappie. Nice crappie. Oop, 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 oop. My foot's sunk in the mud about 4 inches. Almost bit it. Check that out. It's another nice crappie. This one's about 10, 9. All right. Well, on a spinning reel, I had a bird's nest, guys. I don't get it. When I caught that last crappie, I looked down and I just had a big mess. So I had to pull the line out, trim it, and then re-rig. So I lost, what, a good 10 minutes there, 5 minutes? I want to switch to the Berkeley twitch tail here in a minute. So there's a little bit of cabbage in this little mouth here, and I'm not set very deep. I'm just letting them find it. There we go, look at that. Just a soft bite like that. I gotta watch my footing here because these dang vines. Well, that's what I'm worried about is I forgot where I had the bobber set, and that could throw the whole thing off. So I think I'm about right where I was. If you've been following the channel, you know I've been out here trying to catch these big crappie for a long time. And I finally did. I got a bunch of slick nickels. And finally got a decent one. 2 decent ones. And the bites have been real subtle with them. So I'm just jigging it a little bit, then letting it sit there. If it's on the bottom a little bit, I don't mind. It just adds more to the play of the crawdad. Oh yeah, my buddy Mike's gonna be like, how come you didn't save the fish? We could have had a fish tacos. He's got that channel, Bowers Barbecue, and he's always cooking up something good over there. Go check out his channel. I just didn't know what to expect today, and I didn't want to haul in a stringer or well, I've got a stringer on me, but bring a cooler and pack it full of ice. Some guy floating around on a gator. Must be one of the workers out here. He's trucking around on the trails. Well, nothing going on the craw. All of a sudden the bite just died once I had to deal with that silly line snag. One more good cast out there. Then we're going to switch to the Berkeley twitchtail. Tail hooked on there. It's got that stink. I've got quite a bit on it in the past. The thing is, I'm using a Trout Magnet, and boy, you got to be real careful because that hook sits way up close to the head, and so you got to make sure you get a good hook set because you'll lose them. So with this, I'll twitch it a little bit, and then sometimes I'll just reel it in real slow and let them hammer it. But a lot of times I just like it to sit there. You know, not much movement, so they can lazily come up and just thump it. I'm worried about my depth, how I've got it set, because like I was saying, when I had that bird's nest, I think I got it at about the same depth, but I'm not sure. We'll check it out. Something's got there. Oh, felt like a little bite there. Nope, nothing. I had something thump it and then let go instantly. I don't know what happened there. Then I had that one monster strike where it was just screaming off the reel. That was on the craw. A dragonfly. What the heck? How's a dragonfly out here in the middle of December? There's 2 of them. Good grief. On this rig, guys, this is another Speed Spin 100, but this is one of my original ones. I was tempted to try to throw the little jig and wrap again. I know we've had some bites, but the thing is, it's too shallow in here. It's just a snag magnet. Something popped it. Dang it, nothing there. Something's dumping on it, guys. Dang it, nothing was there. I switched back to the craw. There's a little more mouth or a bluegill, but something was popping it. Still trying to work this mouth in here. Still got the crawlers. If I want to switch over and see if I can catch another catfish, but we'll see. Bushwhacking back over to this side in the winter is not bad, but had to go all the way around and come back around. But in the summer with the dang water moccasins and the snakes, forget it. So this may be the check that out, guys. It's acting funny. Dang. I had that one bite that was aggressive. I mean, you guys heard that thing screaming off the reel. But the crappie bites are real subtle. All right, we're gonna try to work this shallow area a little bit more. I don't mind if this thing drags on the bottom like a craw does. I just don't want to get a snag. And I can already see I'm in snags. There's a dang tree limb down there. All right, let's get out of here. All right, let's get aim more for the middle. There we go. checked the rat traps this morning, guys. Nothing. Ooh, do I have a bite right here? Dang, nothing. That was weird. I checked all 3 traps. Nothing. I was coming back the other night from going out to eat, and coming down the alleyway, right in front of me, a rat went right across under my neighbor's trash bin. So I got out and shook the trash bin. Then I noticed that there's like a little drain, like a tube, like a little tile, and that tile runs up into her backyard, and she's got a swimming pool back there. So couldn't see where it went, where it wound up, but I set the traps. I've trapped some rats there before, big brown ones. I trapped one in the Duke squirrel trap when I was live trapping those squirrels that were causing so many problems at the house. I looked in there one day and I was like, man, that looks like an awfully small squirrel, and had it zip tied in the crotch of the pecan tree, and sure enough, I looked in there and the rat was squeaking at me. I guess he climbed the tree right up there, had a big old thing of peanut butter in there. And the traps this time I got some turkey jerky set in them. Well, guys, I don't know what's going on. It's like the bite all of a sudden just vanished. And then I had that stupid line snag. Come on. Dang it, whatever that big one was, it just hauled on the line. It could have been a gar, it could have been a big catfish. I was letting him run with it, and all of a sudden, boop, there it went. All right, guys, we got one here. And he let go. That was weird. Had to have been a crappie, like a subtle bite, and then as soon as I cranked on it, poof, spit it out. I don't know if you can see him, guys, but there's some people walking up through there. There's like a trail. They were sitting on the bench over there. And it's like a mom and dad, maybe 2 boys. And one of them said, "That guy's fishing." And the other one said, "How did he get over there? There's no trail over there." That's the thing with fishing, guys, is it's not about human comfort a lot of times. It's just about finding the right spot where they're biting. So like I started over there, and then in that corner, and then I finally settled over here. Mainly because this little channel back in there, I hadn't had any more bites since then. Caught that one decent sized crappie and nothing. I'm about to try that little Rapala Countdown. It's a little guy, float him out there, let him sink down, and then bring him in. Because I've worked the Berkeley twitchtail through here, and then the craw again, and nothing. See, there they go, they're following the trail. But they really fixed this pond. Before when they had it, it was weird, like they had a little drain system, like a big culvert and a flood valve. The water was always really low. Then when they got this thing finally sorted out, where they took all that out and just let the water come up, And if it overflows, it flows down and eventually into the... Ooh! Did you see that, guys? Right where I was pointing. Crying out loud. Oh, dang it. Not even close. Anyway, same thing, but there's a pond back behind me. It's another little runoff area. There's no fish in there. I've tried and tried. There's too much cabbage. It's not very deep, and it'll drain into here. No! Ooh, that was close. And then to the blooper reel. I caught the end of that limb. Dang it, I'm having just a heck of a time trying to get over to where that fish jumped. What the heck is going on here? I'm never this bad at casting, for crying out loud. There we go. I need to get it above this, but below that. Anyway. So maybe this pond back here now, how they redid all of this, it'll fill up and maybe actually get some decent fish in there. When I looked at it the one time, nothing. I didn't even see any bluegill, nothing. So maybe they stocked it a little bit. Because if it overflows, it'll flow into here, and if this overflows, it'll drain down the little gully there towards that creek. I've got the worst luck fishing in that creek, guys. Never catch a thing in there. I think one time I caught 2 little catfish, and that was it. Alright, guys. I'm going to throw this little perch-colored Rapala CD3 sinking. It's a countdown. So it has a real subtle sink to it. And a nice wobble when you bring it in, as it is always with the Rapala. Oh yeah, crappie will hammer the heck out of that. So will a bass and a gar. What was that? Looks phenomenal in the water. There we go. And let her sink. Oh yeah, check it out. It's definitely sinking. Dang it. I had 2 hits on it. I don't know if you guys could see that. I had 2 hits on it right there. And they, with those hooks, how the heck did they not get it? It was crappie. Oh my gosh, guys, what the heck? came after it twice. There we go. Ooh, check this out. It's a nice big bluegill. Boy, he hammered the heck out of that. Ooh, I don't want to get any hooks in, so we're going to use the glove and the pliers to start working on this. Well, that's a nice bluegill. Four species. There he goes. And I just missed another one. Oh, I'm sold, guys, on this. The size 3. They have a size 2 also. Just reeling it in real slow. Enough so it wiggles. I should probably have this on the ultralight. I've got on the big bass rig. Alright guys, on the Rapala Countdown way out there, just got hammered. Oh wow, check it out. It's another species. Man, I didn't know these guys were even in here. Holy cow. It's a nice striped bass. Ooh. Let's see if I can get him unhooked here. Whip, 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 whip. Easy. Oh, come on. Come on. Well, he's a little dirty. Check out this guy. Nice striped bass. Get him cleaned up a little bit. Get this junk off. There we go. On the Rapala Countdown. Ooh. The CD3. This little guy right here. Looks just like a little perch. That one he hit on the fall. Because I felt that sucker. Alright guys, so my first time ever using, ooh, check that out. First time ever using the Rapala Countdown. So, there we go. My review on it is, it's a keeper. It's a great lure. What do we got here? Looks like a nice crappie. Well, maybe it was a good thing I strapped this on the big bass lure, on the big bass rod. Ooh, well, this is a big old crappie. Let me get this out here. Check out that chunk, guys. I gotta measure this one. Holy cow. This one may be bigger than that other one. Where is mine? Here it is. One. We're gonna go with 15 inches, guys, because I got the one curled right there. Yep, 15 inches. So this for sure is my biggest Texas white crappie. 15 inches. Oh man, well, come on. I know these guys up north do this serious crappie fishing. Catch those all the time on this, but for me, never using it before. It's a lot of fun catching that fish. I was just bringing it in real slow. Then I let it stop. That might have been that big swirl we saw right before they hit. I didn't know there were striped bass in here. That was a big surprise. So maybe that big hit I had on the craw was a monster crappie. Well, it was super heavy, like it felt like a bass though. So what did we catch? A couple catfish, a couple bass, handful of crappie, and that striped bass. Temperature in the mid-50s. I'm telling you guys, you got to use this Rapala Countdown CD3. It's a perfect crappie size for big crappie. You want big pan. Well, you saw I caught that bluegill, but they have a smaller one that's a CD2, I think. So anything in the CD from ooh, look at that, he's got a dent, something put a dent in him. So anything from the CD3 to a 5 would be perfect for crappie, big bluegill, and bass to where you cover them all. And I know they got the Countdown up and much bigger than that. I may know just the spot for the big version of that. Uh-oh. Oh! I missed him, guys. I missed him. Dang it. It was on the fall, and it just didn't stick. Had to take care of a battery change here, guys. The thing is, now you're looking right into the sun. Sorry about that. Yeah, definitely anything from the 3, 4, 5 would get you crappie and bass. If you're exclusively looking for panfish and crappie, I would go the 2 and 3. Maybe you could get away with a 4. You know what? Maybe I did catch a white bass out here one time on the craw. I was trying to think about that. See, the great thing about this is it's got that wobble, and as soon as you stop, it dives, and those fish just can't resist that. You just gotta watch the snags. Well, it was kind of nice, guys. I got to review, well, the Little Dipper and the Bass Assassin, to be continued. But on this Rapala Countdown CD3, I'm sold on it. And I was at Field and Stream right by my house, and I saw a whole bunch of them, and I said, well, I'm not gonna buy them. I'm gonna wait till see how things go with this little one. I should have picked up a half a dozen. I mean, you know, they're a good price. I mean, anything for Rapala, you know, it's not going to be super cheap, but I think they're fairly priced. Well, that little guy got me my PB white crappie in the state of Texas. Can't argue with that. Man, and all the times I've fished out here and I never caught any crappie that were bigger than a little bluegill. I was like, I know they're in here. The one thing I notice is the slower I reel, the better I do with this, especially because it's, you know, in the winter time. And that one stripey hit on the fall, I'm just letting it sink and then slowly start bringing her in, and then I stop. All right, guys, it's gonna wrap it up for me for today. Had a lot of fun out here, testing some new stuff. Covered pretty much all the bases I wanted to cover. Got to use the crawlers, some of the new stuff. Oh my gosh, he hammered it and he let go. Dang, that was an aggressive hit too. You know what, that felt like a gar. Because boy, he hammered it, and then that was all she wrote. That had to have been a gar the way that thing hit. I mean, it was just kapow. And then I felt the head shake, and that was it. But you know, that'll happen. They have that thick armor. If that was a bass or a crappie, they wouldn't have thrown this with all those trebles. Yep, just slow cranking it through, guys. That seems to be the key. And then I just stop, and it just nose dives. This would work really good on my ultralight if I tied directly to it. But I'm happy I put it on the bass rig. I've got one of those little clips at the end, so I can just swap lures in and out. And it causes it to dive a little bit quicker. Then if I had it just tied straight on, it would do just a gradual sink. But and this, it actually helps it to do a kind of a quick nosedive. And then I can crank and it kind of gives a little bit more action. But yeah, it's been a fun day out here. I can tell you right now, some fajitas and a root beer are calling my name. It's going to be an interesting hike out of here, but it's good. Get a little workout. I could do the shortcut and cut right through there to the trail and go around here, or I can take the long way and drop a couple pounds and go all the way I came in and follow the trail. If I see anything interesting, I'll be sure to film it. There's tons of these game trails in and out of here. For my bushcraft buddies, they can't camp in here because we're in a refuge, wildlife refuge, but this would be ideal. Perfect weather for it. Speaking of which, I picked up a couple of those green elephant poles, and those poles that you can set up to different heights to hold a tarp. Picked up a couple of those because I use those in Iowa. And then I got that Muela bushcraft blade. I got it with me. But this is bushcraft heaven right now down in Texas this time of year. You'll get some moisture, but you're not going to freeze to death. Now, if you're up in the Amarillo area, you probably would, but here you could set up a nice tent. The thing is, you can't camp in here. If you own land around here, you no problem going out and doing that. A couple of ranches around. All right, guys. Hope you're having some great adventures this winter. Drop some comments below what you've been using. If you've ever used this little Rapala Countdown, let me know what you think of it, what you've caught on it. So far, I mean, we know it catches crappie, we know it catches bluegill, and we know for sure that it'll catch striped bass. And it looks like we had a gar hammer it. So I'm calling this a success. All right, until next time, guys, I'll see you then. Hey, thanks for hanging out and seeing what I was catching today. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate your support. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the holidays. Till next time, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.